In this video, we're going to share our opinion about Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. And this is not a paid promotion video. Disney doesn't know we're making this video, so we can say whatever we want. And there really are some pros and cons to consider. But you don't have to take our word for it. In the description below this video, we're going to put a link to the page on our website where you can go and see video reviews from other people just like you for Animal Kingdom Lodge. And if you've been to the lodge, you can click a button on our website and record your own review and share your opinion so everybody else can see it, all for free. So let's jump into what we feel are the 5 bestest things about Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. And when you walk into the lobby at Disney's Animal Kingdom's Lodge, it really is like a wow moment. This place is really beautiful and significant. It's quite awe-inspiring, and you can kind of walk around and see all of the African themed stuff all around the lobby, and they even have African cultural representatives there that can teach and educate you on things, or even just play African inspired games with you there in the lobby. And when you walk in, it's like, oh wow, this really is a deluxe resort. So remember, this is one of Disney's deluxe resorts. It happens to be one of the cheaper deluxe versions of their resorts, but that doesn't mean it's cheap at all. This is not a cheap place to stay. And there's actually 2 properties. There's Jamba House and then there's Kidani Village. And the Kidani Village is part of that Disney Vacation Club, so that's for those members, but you can stay there even if you're not a member. But they have more like, like 1 and 2 bedroom or even 3 bedroom suites that have like a full kitchen, so it's kind of like a villa. And so those were quite expensive. To stay there, you kind of have to walk in and say, hi, here's all of my dollars. Can I sleep here, please? And are you sure that's all of your dollars? Yes, that's all of my dollars. Great, enjoy your stay. So it's quite expensive to stay over there. So when you stay on either property, you can use amenities in both of the locations. And there's even a shuttle that kind of goes back and forth, so you can check out animals and savannas in one property, and even if you're not staying at the other one, you can go over and check out all the amenities and things and use all that stuff over on the other property as well. You can even walk back and forth, but it's kind of a long walk and it's not really a scenic walk with animals, so the shuttle seems to be a better route, and they run that pretty much throughout the day. And we've been to Animal Kingdom Lodge a few times, and we've always stayed at Jamba House, which is where the more standard hotel type rooms are. And it's still going to be a little bit pricey to stay there. Just getting a basic room is, depending on the time of year and the time of the week and how many days you stay, it can run between like $450 and you can go all the way up to $2,000 or so to get a really nice room. And a lot of the pricing will depend on your view. So the basic $450 to $500 room can just be a standard view, which could be like a parking lot, or maybe a pool view is a little bit more. But to get the Savannah view is usually going to cost anywhere between $100 to $200 more per night to get that view. But it's well worth it. Like if there was a try before you buy thing and I was allowed to do that, I would have walked in and I would have seen that view and I would have walked out saying, somebody take my money. Because this is really what it's about. This place is really about waking up and, oh, there's baby zebras frolicking about outside my room. It's an unbelievable situation, especially if you're an animal lover. So if you're just looking for a place to sleep, there's a lot of places around Disney that you can get a lot cheaper rooms, but this is really about paying for that view. You're really paying to see that view. So if you're just gonna get like a standard room, that's usually gonna be a parking lot view, or sometimes it could be an obstructed view, which means that for the same price as the parking lot view, you might get a view of the savannah that has like a big pole in the way, where you might not be able to have this perfect view, but you can still see a whole lot. So it's possible that you can get lucky, or that you might be able to request an obstructed view standard view room. But when we go, it's really about the view for us. So we're willing to pay more because it really seems to be worth it. And from our point of view, it seems like when you can stay around the 3rd or 4th floor, that seems to be the best view, the ground view. Sometimes you miss some things, and just being up a little bit higher where you can see more, but not too high where everything's too far away, seems to be pretty optimal. And a pro tip is to try to watch the Disney's Magic of Animal Kingdom on Disney Plus before you go. Now, they go over a lot of the animals in Animal Kingdom itself, but they also talk about some of the stuff in Animal Kingdom Lodge, and you get to see some of that behind the scenes stuff. So that's worth checking out before you go, so you can be like, oh yeah, I know that animal. That can make it a whole lot more fun. So let's jump into what we feel are the 5 bestest aspects of Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Number 1.
And it's really the view from your room that makes this experience a next level experience. And if you're not used to spending this type of money at resort hotels, it's really going to be uncomfortable when you make that reservation and commit to spending that type of money. But when you walk in the room and the kids just kind of freak out, it's just like, that was money well spent. This is really, really good. And every room has a balcony that you can go out and you can just sit there and you can just watch the animals. You get to see the keepers drive around their little trucks and setting up food for the animals. And what's really great is that there's different savannahs on each property. And depending on where you stay, you might see a different viewpoint. But what's great is that the animals kind of change from day to day or from the time of the day. So you can go out there on your balcony and check out some animals, and later that day when you go back, you might see different animals out there. So it's really great to see such a variety. There's over 200 species of animals that live on this property, so you're not just gonna see like a giraffe and a zebra. There's a lot of animals out there, and it's really great to see such a variety. So waking up and seeing baby zebras running around outside is really the best part of this. And if you go to a park, then when you come back, you're going to see some different animals out there. So that can be a whole lot of fun. But the spoiler alert is that this is our favorite Disney resort to stay in, and we've stayed in quite a few, and this is really our favorite, and it's really about the view from this room. So I'm going to go through some other things about this resort that are really great, but when I think about it in my head, I'm like, do I really love all these other things just because they're springboarding from this amazing view? Like if I remove this amazing view as part of my experience here, am I still willing to pay this much for this resort? And sometimes I think I probably would not be. So if you're thinking about going here and thinking about just getting a standard room, if you can make it happen, this view is really what makes everything else really amazing.
Number 2.
And our kids really love animals, which is why Animal Kingdom is one of our favorite parks, and this lodge is absolutely our favorite place to stay because you can walk around the property and see a lot of different animals. There's a lot of different viewing areas, and you can even go from property to property to see different varieties as well. But the kids really love walking around to the different areas and viewing the different animals, and they even have these little charts up here that kind of show you different animals that are usually in this area. And oh look, they even have ants here. They're so dedicated that they have ants. And as you walk around, you'll see these safari guides just kind of standing around, ready to educate you about the animals or help you find animals and spot them and tell you more about them. So it's really nice having a guide kind of right there, like you're really on a safari. And even beyond the viewing areas, even like over by the pool, there's other viewing areas and other animals. Like the main area for the flamingos is there by the pool, so you can see flamingos whenever you want. Flamingos, by the way, don't smell super great. And I see rooms that are pretty close to that, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to stay there and smell flamingos the whole time that I'm here, but it's nice to have them by the pool where you can go and check those out. Kids really love the flamingos. And just off the lobby, there's these really cool like balcony viewing area things that are covered, and you can just go and hang out in a rocking chair there and look out over a savannah. So if you don't have a savannah view room, you can kind of hang out here for part of the day and look out over a savannah, and that can be great too. So the animals are clearly what this resort is about, and they lean into that hard and in a really good way, and I feel like it makes it worth the expense.
Number 3.
So both properties also have great recreation things like ping pong tables and hot tubs, and they have a great arcade that's really a pretty legitimate arcade. A lot of times at a resort or a hotel, you go into their arcade and it's really like 4 or 5 claw games that just want to steal your money and not give you that stuffy at all. But this place had a lot of really good games. The kids had a really great time playing different games that we had not seen in other locations. They had a photo booth in there. The kids just had a great time in the arcade. And both properties have a really nice resort style pool, and the pool was big at the Jamba House. Over at Kidani Village, they have a great splash zone for kids, but at Jamba House, they have a legitimate water slide. It's like you go up and like a water slide, just like legitimate water slide. So the kids really had a great time at the pool. So with all these recreational options, it's really a resort where you want to have at least one day where you're just at the resort, where you're not going off to parks all day long. And if you're just going to be at parks all day long, the expense that you're going to spend here might not be worth it. You're going to get home too late, the animals are going to be asleep already. So this is a place where you want to have at least a day where you're just going to hang out and get to see all that this place has to offer.
Number 4.
And the theming of this place is one of our favorite aspects just because it's really African themed. It's not so much Mickey Mouse and Disney. They do touch on that some, but it's really about the animals and this African experience. And the gift shop is really amazing with really African themed gifts as well as some Disney themed things as well, but a lot of things that you would not usually see in a Disney gift shop. And they also have a significant food store. It's like a grocery store in there. It's like a small grocery store where you could get real food and just kind of take it back to your room. They also sell watches. If you're one of those people who likes to buy a watch while they're on vacation and pay twice as much as you would at a resort as you would for a watch somewhere else, they have that available as well. They have any essentials that you might need as well. So this is a big legitimate gift store for something that's inside of a resort. And what's great about Animal Kingdom Lodge is they also have a lot of activities for the kids. You'll see these bulletin boards around different places that kind of list different activities that are coming up, and most of them are free. And it'll be things like, oh, we're gonna make African themed jewelry today, or we're gonna do animal trekking and learn more about these animals. So there's a lot of activities for the kids, which really makes it worth having a day or two where you're just gonna hang out at the lodge.
Number 5.
So dining seems to have some significant kind of pros and that's okay. And most of it is African themed stuff, so it's great to have some opportunity to try some foods that you might not have access to on most occasions. But a lot of it's African themed, but as well as Americanized African themed kind of stuff. And then just some normal kids, so the picky kids don't run in horror from I don't even know what that is, I'm not eating that kind of stuff. So there are a variety of options. And the Mara is kind of like the cafeteria version of the eatery at the Jamba House. And the other location does not have an eatery like this that's just like grab and go kind of thing. And this is where we ate first and we're like, well, this is okay. It's not that great, but it's just a kind of a grab and go, easy, not too expensive type cafeteria type food options. They have some flatbread things and normal chicken tender kind of things and stuff like that. But we thought this was all there was and we were not super impressed. But then we found the other locations, and there's some other restaurants that are just amazing. So Jiko is the fancy restaurant that's kind of like an upscale, oh, we're gonna go out and have a really nice evening of dining. That's the really nice one. And Sana is the one over at Kidani Village that is the only restaurant where you can actually see animals while you're eating. So that's kind of cool too. But Boma is the you cannot miss restaurant. This is the buffet styled, African themed restaurant. It's located below the lobby at Jamba House. And above that is a really nice lounge, where somebody could get a drink and such. But this Boma is really fantastic, and it's a buffet type situation, and the spread is unbelievable. They have a lot of options, and they do breakfast and dinner. They don't do lunch, but they do breakfast and dinner. The breakfast is really good, but the dinner is unbelievable. And so there's a lot of options of fancy food you can eat, but they also have Mickey waffles for the kids and stuff like that. But of all of the restaurants that we've eaten at all of the Disney properties, this is our absolute favorite, especially the dinner. There's really some amazing options there, and it's just all you can eat, and you really feel like you want to pound some stuff when you go in there and get your money's worth, because there are a lot of options, and then there's all these desserts. It's a really good time, and we have talked before about how it might just be worth staying here just to eat at this place. So really good restaurant that you don't want to miss. Now, some of the downsides is just that Animal Kingdom Lodge is a little bit further away from most of the other parks. So if you're going to go and stay at a place for a week and do all this park hopping, know that Animal Kingdom is pretty close to Animal Kingdom Lodge, but when you go to these other parks, it can take 20 or 30 minutes to get there, so you really want to plan ahead. And Animal Kingdom Lodge only has bus transportation to the parks. A lot of other resorts, they'll have oh, here's a gondola, and here's a boat you can take, and here's a sky rider thing. And they only have the buses, but it's just a quick transportation thing, so it's really not that big a deal. So if where you're going to be staying is just going to be where you sleep, and you're not going to spend a whole lot of time there, or you're not really into animals, then this really would not be the location for you. Putting you further away from everything could make just more of a hassle, but if you want to spend some time at the resort, this is our absolute favorite. But again, it could just be because our kids are really crazy about animals. It could be because I'm looking at things through rose-colored glasses just because I love that view when we wake up and it's just making everything else so much better. I don't really know. But if you've been or if you go, be sure to go to our website and leave a review so everybody can see your opinion and not just listening to us about it. Now, if you haven't been to Animal Kingdom yet, you can run over and check out our video now on the 5 bestest things about Animal Kingdom. I hope this helps.